Chains rattle broken, now we rise. Flag in my hand starts burning the skies. Truth ain't dead, though the liars try. They scream loud, but the words all die. Guys watching hands, raise to the throne. Freedom ain't free. Blood built this home. Continue freedom, keep it alive. Red, white, blue, we bleed to survive. Continue freedom, keep it alive. Land of the free, ain't bending the knee. Truth in my veins, it's all I see. Patriots roar, no fear in the fight. Continue freedom, stand in the light.
And welcome back to Continue Freedom. Thank y'all for being here. All right, so we got a pretty interesting live stream tonight, and I'm actually going to do something that I don't typically do. We're going to go through about the first 10 minutes. Well, it's not the first 10 minutes, but it's about 10 minutes of Candace Owens' last episode. In addition to that, we're gonna break it apart piece by piece. Some of the things that she said, and I want to do this because I think it's important when individuals that are as popular as Candace Owens get pushed to the front of the YouTube algorithm. They are given prime real estate to deceive a whole lot of people. And we talk about it a lot on this channel because I think it's important, because her, along with Nick Fuentes and other people on the right, we'll definitely put that in air quotes, as those people get more and more influence, they are able to lead astray more and more of our fellow Americans and break apart the MAGA movement, which I still say was a successful movement and was one that I had hoped would continue. But it's looking glim, or not glim. It's looking dim, and I'm not entirely. I guess the way to put it is I'm not entirely optimistic. But what I want to say up front, and I'll just be perfectly honest, it is evident, and we have seen this, that she is intentionally lying to her viewership. She's intentionally misleading people. And I know that she is smart enough to know exactly what she's doing, but she's doing it anyway, whether that's for money or because of some sort of schizophrenia, I don't know. But she's doing it. And she's moved her narrative now from, of course, true crime over into sci-fi, which I briefly touched on yesterday. But we're going to get into all that. So as folks are coming on, please, it helps the channel to smash all the buttons that are available to smash, i.e. the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell. That way you're notified every time a new video is released. Some people are notified. I've had problems. You guys know this. My regular viewers know this. Not everybody's getting their notifications, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and get into this first part of the video. Oh, by the way, yes, there you go, Tracy. The people who defend her are being led astray, 100%. First in the comments tonight, Tracy. Hey, yuck. Yeah, there you go. So we're gonna go through. Yeah, we got Tracy, we got Yuck, we got a lot of some of our regular viewers coming back. This is good. I'm gonna play this one first before I get into this video. I have to play this one. I'm gonna assume you guys have seen this one, but I found it incredibly shocking.
He was attending, and he had to go to some special school for the gifted, like he was an X-Man. He said he thought he was a time traveler. He went to a special school. And yeah, it's very interesting that these programs existed. I honestly think I was spared. So interesting to hear you say if they wanted to transfer you to a special academy, because the same thing happened to me. I took the test. It was third grade, I remember. And all the kids got their state test exams back, and mine was late. And I was sitting in Miss Balistreri's class. And then they brought my mom in, and they were like, you know, Candace got a very high score on this, and we'd like to put her in what was called the Extraordinary Learners Program. And after being in a couple of these classes, they then said to my mom that we would like to pay for her to go all expenses to this academy, King Low Haywood private school. And my mom was like, well, you should go to this. This is an amazing opportunity. And then I started bursting out in tears, crying, being like, Mom, please don't make me go. We had just changed schools, elementary schools. And I was like, I just made new friends again. I do not want to make new friends. Essentially, I promise I will be an idiot. Just do not make me change schools. And I wonder, first off, I did. I then purposely was trying not to do the best.
Sometimes being gifted doesn't feel like a gift. Nobody seems to understand you. Sometimes they're even scared of you. Wouldn't it be great if you didn't have to worry about hiding your gifts anymore? Hi, I'm Jubilee, and it wasn't that long ago when I felt that way too. But then I became a student at Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters, and everything changed.
I don't know if that music is copyrighted or not, so I'll stop it there before I get a strike. Oh, I thought it was hilarious. Somebody put that one together. Like, okay, so Candace Owens, she's an X-Man. I guess that's her take. I don't know. We'll listen to another take here in a little bit. But let's before I get off on any other tangents, let's get into the video. I'm going to stop along the way. We're going to talk about some of these things, debunk a ton of what she says. Here we go.
Nick Fuentes
Oh, and by the way, I'm playing this a little bit faster than normal so we can get through it.
is one of these people who is trying to soften it. So for clarity, before we listen to this clip, Jeffrey Epstein had been accused of trafficking children, 8 years old, 11 years old. He, for his own birthday, as a birthday present to himself, found some 12-year-old triplets who were dirt poor. And his friend, Jean-Luc Brunel in Paris, flew these 12-year-old triplets to Jeffrey Epstein, okay? No one's arguing about Jeffrey Epstein's perverted interest, a sexual interest. No one's arguing that. However, Nick Fuentes is going to explain why, actually, that's not pedophilia. Take a listen.
This whole pedo thing, it's like, is it really pedophilia? I don't want to be the one that has to say it, but I guess I'm being forced to say it. It's not really pedophilia, okay? They weren't trafficking 5-year-olds. It was like they were technically not legal. Big difference, in my opinion. I know that's a controversial take, but that's not really the issue there. Okay, the issue is not that they were barely legal teens, which is what it is. It's horrendous. It's awful. It's pedophilia. Okay, relax. No, the issue is that Epstein is a Jewish spy, probably working with Israel. That's the dilemma there. He's working with Israeli intelligence.
Honestly, this is a time where it is appropriate to say this.
Stop. That's it. That's all I have to say. Stop.
A couple of things, and this is a perfect place to pause it, but with the expression on her face. Yeah, so she is right about Nick Fuentes. I have to give her credit where credit is due. She is right about Nick Fuentes. I've said this numerous times. Nick Fuentes has pulled blocker for pedophilia. He said that sort of stuff, and I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that on my show, but Candace certainly doesn't seem to be under those same restrictions, so I'm going to run with it as well. Nick Fuentes has played apologist for that sort of behavior. But at the same time, that last clip, who she used, this is the person she used, Erica Kirk, is the one that she puts up to it's kind of a jab at Erica Kirk. But at the same time, she's made similar accusations against Erica Kirk, that Erica Kirk is involved in this. She said this in this very show, actually. She could have used any meme out there. I mean, here, I could give you one. Watch this.
Stop it. Get some help.
She could have gone with that one. But what did she do? No, she went with the Erica Kirk one. Why? Because it's subliminal. It's not even all that subtle, let's be honest. But she's made accusation that Erica Kirk is part of some trafficking ring that is led by some of these TPUSA donors. And this is a small little piece of the many pieces of the con that she is on. It's subliminal. It is kind of hidden in the background, but it is very, very intentional. Let's keep going.
Agree. I watched that. Just stop right there. Why are we always here in society for no reason? How easy is it not to do that? Okay, not to try to use some technicality, which, by the way, who do you think is in control of these definitions, by the way? I mean, they are changing the definition of what it means to be a girl and a boy right now. So if you can find, well, look at this definition. Technically, if the person is 11, if the person's not under 5, who cares if they're prepubescent? The point is not pedophilia. We've expanded the definition. We're constantly expanding and changing definitions to confuse people against common sense, okay? If you are sexually interested in prepubescent children, you're a pedophile. How about that? Is that easy? Thumbs up? Cool? We good? And what is just so remarkable to me, and like I said, I've been fine with him doing his thing. Obviously, he's a federal informant. It's ridiculous for people that don't understand that. It's ridiculous that people just keep following him despite the overwhelming evidence. I mean, this guy took a meeting with Dan Wilkes' partner after years of screaming about Ben Shapiro and talking about Israel. He took a meeting with Defend Texas Liberty and Ferris Wilkes' partner and pitched, one reporter got documents, was pitching to sell the data of his followers. And people were like, that's fine. He led people into a Capitol with a bullhorn and said, ignore police, storm the barriers, as if he had fed instructions. And we know for a fact he was informed the night before by Mayor of Minneapolis.
Okay, this is also correct. And this is what's interesting. We have two grifters, two people that you guys know if you've been watching this channel for any length of time, that the two of, I don't agree with either one of these people. I don't think either one of these individuals are good for the movement that we had going. I think they are just divisive figures. But she's correct, and I've played this clip numerous times on my channel. I'll play it again here. And this is what's interesting. Let's play it, just the first little bit of it here so that you guys can see as a fresh reminder. So that's Nick Fuentes on January 6th. And I find it interesting, I think we all find it interesting, that there were 1,583 people arrested on January 6th, including grandmas, cancer patients, looky-loos who came into the Capitol after it had been reopened. And yet they couldn't find it in their, they couldn't muster enough to go and get Nick Fuentes. So he comes out on the other side of that, and that's why I was suspicious of the guy from the get-go. As soon as I saw the video, and okay, look, if the grandma who walks in, snaps a couple of pictures, turns around and walks out and gets 18 months in jail, and the guy with the bullhorn telling people to go in doesn't get in trouble, that's suspicious at the very least. But in my mind, well, it's a little more than suspicious. So again, correct. However, this is again part of the grift. Say some things that are right, and then we're going to get into the stuff where she spiels all the nonsense. Let's keep going.
The feds were going to be that there was some Fed trap happening, and
oops, I thought I might have started playing that one back too fast. Oh no, maybe not. There we go.
Like that, he went with a bullhorn. He didn't just attend; he had a bullhorn, and he's telling people to storm, and he doesn't get arrested. And his lawyer wants to go off record when he's asked directly about whether or not he is a federal informant. It's been so in your face and obvious. The ridiculous, I just got $250,000 in Bitcoin from France from a guy who's killed himself and published a letter 24 hours after he was dead because he set down a timer, and it's in perfect English. And anybody who's ever been to France, French people don't speak perfect English. They are not writing a letter in English, even if they speak perfect English.
That is okay, so far, that's the dumbest comment she's made. Yes, French people can write in English. Everybody learns English. French can write in English. This is to try to add credibility to the statement she was making when no additional credibility was needed. Just say the statement, and that's it. Oh, are they really? YouTube deleting comments again? Oh, that's a bummer. And I saw your comment, too, here. What's the takeaway? Nick's point, though, was that they weren't. That's correct. That was the point that he was making. But she added that point in to try to help prove her point. If YouTube's deleting your comments, guys, I apologize. I wish there was something I could do about it, but unfortunately, this is the world we live in. Yeah.
It's just been so absurd that it offends my senses. It offends my sensibility that people have been following him. This is a Glee Club kid, okay? He's dramatic. I like Nick Fuentes clips. I like watching Real Housewives clips. And this is, by the way, the problem, as I've said, that heterosexual men cannot continue to follow theater boys. This is actually an illness in our society, is that people who are playing the part of men and are actually at their core theater boys and want to go to Congress and want to have platforms and would never fight wars, they are, for whatever reason, being listened to by actual men. This was just unbelievable to me that the statement was made and you couldn't see that it was going to end here. Of course, this is what happens. This is what happens when you elect or you decide that you're going to follow people who don't like women.
Interesting. Do you guys know who she highlighted on her show today? Myron Gaines. I'm not going to play. I've played Myron Gaines content on here before. It is a very easy way to get yourself banned. This guy traffics in the worst kind of disgustingness. And that's who she has on her show. His whole shtick is that he doesn't like women, that women are stupid, women are less than, women this, women that. And he's a guy who is, to my understanding, unmarried. There's some interesting allegations out there about him. I won't air it on here. But nonetheless, he's the one who's given relationship advice to men on how to be a man. And his whole shtick is women bad, Jews bad, and that's it. And he made a whole channel out of it. Yet she'll say in the same breath, oh, wait, it's the one about the ones that don't like women. Yeah, yeah. There you go. Myron is a lost cause. Bingo, bango. Cantiva had Paramount Tactical Legend. Are you serious? I didn't know that. Okay, interesting. I'll have to go check into that. Quick break, real quick to everybody, because the live stream is building up a little bit. Please tap all the buttons. It helps. It helps a lot. Thank you, guys. All right, let's keep going. We got more.
That's the reality. They don't like women, so family offends them. And despite making that statement, he then tries to do a 180 and pretend he didn't just say what we heard him say. Here's what he said in a follow-up, where he's going to yell at you for hearing what he just said, which is that it's not pedophilia. Take a listen.
This is not just about somebody was trafficking girls somewhere. That's not the story. The story is someone was trafficking girls to acquire blackmail to sell to Israel. That is the point. And that is what I said last night. I said, for someone to make it all about pedophilia, I said, it's kind of just like, it's not really true, because again, it does get away from what's happening there. It is not satanic pedophilia cult stuff. It is really run-of-the-mill prostitution and sex trafficking, but for a international political purpose. And it's important not to lose sight of that. I saw Marjorie Greene say this is about female victims. It's actually not about female victims. It's about the integrity of our government. You understand the difference? It's not to say we're not sympathetic. It's not to say that it's not criminal. It's not to say that it's good. I'm not defending it. I'm saying this is not Dateline. This is not a human interest story. This is a layered crime. It's one crime in the furtherance of a much more politically significant crime. But all these dumb I mean, they literally just don't have the IQ to understand that. For them, it's just about screeching about the same nonsense every day. They don't understand what they're talking about. They have no idea about anything. They hear something they don't like. They say, oh, he's with Israel now. He got paid. I'm sorry. I've been doing this way longer than you. When did you come on the scene? When did you get red pilled? Last year? 10 minutes ago? When did you start talking about this stuff? Oh, now you're the expert and the gatekeeper. I'm done with that. I'm out. Seriously. You don't have to unfollow me because I'm out. This whole movement of Gen X idiots that are obsessed with satanic pedophile elite and psycho conspiracy kookery that doesn't even make sense, this Candace Owens bullshit, I'm out of all that. Seriously. I'm done with it.
Now, you guys tell me if you heard it a different way, but I've now listened to this probably 3 or 4 times, and it sounds like he's making a case that the pedo part of it is less important than the government influence part of it. And there's an argument to be made in the opposite direction, that the governments are what they are, but stopping rings, trafficking rings, is incredibly significant. Now, we got to walk and chew gum at the same time. It sounds like he's downplaying it. So that's the argument that he's making. Interesting. It's just so easy to say, yes, it's bad, and yes, here's my beliefs on Israel or whatever it happens to be, whatever nonsense I want to spit. I think it's because he doesn't actually believe it, and he's mad. I was listening to another live streamer, and he was live streaming a live stream. That's basically what he was doing. And he was talking about the comments, and the comments turned on him. And I'm going to get to, at the end of this, I'm going to talk about our culture of hate that we have, because it is very easy to hate. Hate is the easiest, I think, the easiest of our emotions. We turn to it and we find it. It's whether we hate white people, we hate black people, we hate the Jews, we hate the this, we hate the that. Hate is simple. But actually talking through complex issues is more difficult. So the crowds of these people are turning towards the hate. That's what they're embracing. And that's another reason that I think this is dangerous. But let's keep going.
Yeah, this is the kid who sat across from me and said that people that are sub-Saharan just don't have a high IQ. Let me tell you what he strikes me as. Nick strikes me as someone who was really bright in high school. Then he got a little bit of fame and he stopped reading books. That's it. This is what happens. People go, I made it. I don't have to learn anymore. I can just shut off my brain and keep repeating the same talking points. Because if you do not understand that this is a cult, that the theology matters much more than the politics, okay? This like left-right dialectic, it means nothing until you understand the theology that is guiding these elites worldwide. And it is, in fact, occultic. It is, in fact, satanic. And these are, in fact, ritualistic. It's all over. You need but read articles that are in your face or conduct even a minor incursion into the history of psychology, which was brought upon our shores, a minor incursion even to the establishment of Hollywood. It's right there in your face. And by the way, it is actually low IQ anti-Semitism, like you call it, to just go, oh, well, that's just all Jews. That's why I don't like Dave Smith. I don't even like Dave Smith, even though he's completely on our side on everything. It's him. That's actually what low IQ anti-Semitism is. Because to be clear, this occultic, ritualistic stuff, these people are gypsies. They exist in every faith. Let's be clear. Aleister Crowley was a student of this. Did Aleister Crowley exist? Did Jack Parsons exist? Who established the Apollo program at NASA? Was he similarly conducting occult sexual rituals to establish a moon child? Did we then suddenly go to the moon after the Apollo program was established? So actually,
That's nonsense. Jack Parsons did not. Jack Parsons was early on solid rocket fuels, but Jack Parsons did not coordinate with NASA. That's a bold-faced lie. It's not historically accurate. Yet she says it anyways, as though it's pure fact. Aleister Crowley, I mean, the guy comes up with an occultist religion, and yes, Jack Parsons was part of that. Jack Parsons latched on to Thelema, I believe is what it was called, Thelemism or Thelema. Latched onto this silly occultist thing. But Jack Parsons, he didn't coordinate with NASA for Apollo. Aleister Crowley was mentioned in songs back in the 60s and 70s. He was this weird occultist. Is it possible? Here's a hypothetical. If she wants to deal in hypotheticals or in bold-faced lies, could it be two kooks, right? Or could it be a kook, Aleister Crowley, that was approached by demons that gave him the Thelemic prophecy in his head, or the Thelemic philosophy in his head? Yeah, just like demons can pop into the head of an unhinged podcaster on YouTube and spit silly things about time travel and ancient Sumerian technology. Of course, people do crazy things. But does that mean that this is all tied together in the Apollo program and moon babies? No. Let's keep going. My Lord. And also, Parsons wasn't even involved in the Apollo 5 or the Saturn 5, which was the keystone for the Apollo mission. So anyway,
Nick, it's you that is demonstrating that you have a low IQ, or rather that you are trying to tell your audience to stop learning. You're trying to convince them, and by the way, you're trying to convince them that Satan is a conspiracy theory. Keep focused on the minutia. To left versus right? It's Israel versus America. It's not bigger than that. There's no global conspiracy happening. We weren't told that Satan's going to inherit the earth. This is why he also strikes me as someone who does not attend mass regularly, first, because of the way he speaks. There is such a thing as having a Catholic conscience. It's difficult to speak in the manner that he does all the time.
I'm going to slow this down a little bit because once she speeds up, she's talking too fast.
If you were attending mass, which he should do, I think it would make him a better person. But far be it from me to give Nick Fuentes any suggestions, because the last time when I just asked him who he was dating, or like, hey, you're going to get married one day, he lost his mind. He started acting like a raging homosexual, calling me all sorts of things, of course, when he was in the comfort of his own home, and very much embodying the stereotype of women that you see on reality TV. This is actually was his reply to me for asking him about whether he wanted to get married one day.
Sit down and shut the up, bitch! That's what a man has to say.
Just a general rule. If you have to say I'm a man, which he then follows up by saying I'm a real man, you probably aren't one. Okay. Hey, Brigitte, if you got a sue to prove you're a woman, you're probably not one.
So an accusation that Nick Fuentes is not an actual man. And then she says if Brigitte Macron, if you have to sue to prove you are one, you're probably not one. And this brought me back to the same accusations they made against, Bibi Netanyahu. Think what you want about Bibi Netanyahu, but everybody came out and they said, I didn't have to come out and say I'm innocent. So why is he? Because there were people saying that he was guilty of said thing. So the natural response is for somebody to come out. Brigitte Macron was accused of it and then this lady makes an entire documentary about it. So yeah, she's going to sue. It's not because she's having to sue to prove that she's a woman, because you're saying that she's not one. This is how you know this woman does not live in the real world. She does not live in reality. She's in her own reality. People, I'll play a clip here in a minute. It's actually between Nick Fuentes and Alex Jones, where is medication involved? And it's just a simple question. But here we go. I'm going to play a little bit more, and then we're going to play that clip.
Real men, their natural inclination is to protect women and children. That's a fact. A woman's natural inclination is to respect men when they are exhibiting the attributes of true masculinity, protecting women and children, not getting up on a platform and trying to soft sell the definition of pedophilia by saying, well, it wasn't 5-year-olds, and so it's okay. And by the way, to that clip of him yelling, all I can ever see is the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Take a look at this.
Sit down and shut the fuck up. That's what a man has to say.
A real man. That's how I talked to my sisters when they took my shirt when I was in high school, and just yell, scream at them, and point. Anyway, it's a call for actual real men to stand up and become leaders and to help us fight what we are fighting, which is a spiritual war. Yes, it does matter.
Okay. Yes, she's correct. We are in a spiritual war. But I think that in her own mind, she has set herself up in her own mind to be on the right side of this spiritual war, where she has, in this instance, we have outlined several things that are falsehoods, that are lies, that are not even related, that she's using to try to build a story, that she's using to build first a true crime, now a sci-fi narrative in order to entertain people, not to find any actual truth, but along the way is misleading people. That by its very nature, unless you're saying, hey, I'm a fiction person, this is my show's fiction, so I'm going to weave together a story out of this circumstance. That's one thing. She's saying it's fact. She's saying it's truth. And that in and of itself is a lie. It is a deception. And in the fight of good versus evil, in this spiritual battle that's been on this earth forever since the fall of man, yeah, you're on the wrong side of it. Sorry, but you are. And then at the end, she's talking about men, like preaching to men, saying what it is to be a man. And I'm sorry, but I have to say something about her husband. Is your husband actually leading your household because of the things you are saying and the things that you are doing? Have you had that conversation with your husband? If he's on the same side as you in this, then he's obviously culpable in all of this. Does that mean he's leading his family? No, it means he's leading his family poorly. But if your husband was a leader, he would say, stop ruining my family name, because that's what she's doing. Although people equate it to Candace Owens and less to George Farmer, but more people are getting wise to that. And her husband's got a degree in theology from Oxford. You know, hey, let's spin some conspiracy theories. People say that Candace Owens is an op. I think it's self-created. I don't think that it's some conspiracy op. I think that she's just doing it for doing its sake. But her husband went to Oxford. The Russians, they gave money to Oxford. A lot of money to Oxford. Spy. Qatar's given money to Oxford. Spy. You can draw weird linkages throughout this world where money, influence, relationships, all these things traverse one thing or the other. But at the same time, her husband went to Oxford and is best friends with one of the Tate brothers, who are on trial for human trafficking. The Tate brothers, she's sitting here preaching to people about relationship, and they still have a good relationship, by the way. He ran cam girls, doesn't back down from the fact that he did that. He would take these women, talked about honey trap, that was the honey trap, isn't that what it is? He would get these girls to fall in love with him. Then he would get control over their social media accounts, have them perform online. And this is the friend of her husband, one of the best friends of her husband, admitted by her. This is the type of person they hang out with. And then she says, well, this is what it means to be a man. This is the type of man that you're supposed to be. You need to check the company that you hang out with. I question her husband's company that he keeps. I don't know any of his other relationships, but that one's enough for me to draw some conclusion. Now, I'm going to play this clip. This is from Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes. It's actually a pretty good laydown. It really is. So take a peek at this one and tell me what you guys think.
I'm going to say this. I challenge her to do a drug test. I will do one with her. You will find nothing but nicotine and alcohol, and very little alcohol, a lot of nicotine. Candace, I want to say it, watching that, you can't fake crazy. That looks like Adderall-fueled schizophrenia to me.
Yeah, well, it's clearly some form of psychosis. That was my first thought, is like, you almost can't even blame her. Like, this is literally just psychosis at this point. You can see it in her eyes. You could see it in those, like she is totally sincere. She's totally authentic. She believes in what she's saying. And it's the craziest stuff I've ever heard. I mean, and you know, we get into a lot of far-fetched stuff and conspiracies, and we like to speculate and do this sort of an intellectual exercise or something.
But we'll say we don't know. We'll say we don't know. And there's, you know.
Right. But to lay it down and say, well, no one just says they're a time traveler. So the claim is that Charlie was a real time traveler, traveling through time using technology. And so
and
when
now
they were
he's
telling
got
each
agents
other,
watching him because she did too.
yeah. Well, and she goes, I'm an alien. He's a time traveler. Pete, she said at the beginning of the clip, you don't just tell your homies you're a time traveler. What's the implication? You don't tell your friends you're a time traveler if you aren't actually literally a time traveler. So if Charlie's saying, I think I'm a time traveler, he means I'm literally traveling through time. And it's like, so, but she believes it. She says that she believes
it. Well, also, you're a major public figure with the left making songs and saying we're going to kill you. And you say, gee, they may kill me. That doesn't mean you're a time traveler.
Well, and we all say that. We all recognize that this is the game we're in. We all recognize people get thrown in jail and assassinated. It happens all the time. I've said that to people. I'm sure you've said that to people. Oh, they're going to kill me. Oh, if I keep saying this, they're going to... People say it's just the parlance in this kind of world, and it turns into, well, if he said he's a time traveler, we shouldn't discount the possibility that he's manipulating the space-time continuum. And yeah, I've always said about her, you can never discount the possibility that she's just really that dumb. Everybody thinks it's so much more complicated. You can never discount the possibility she's just dumb. Even in the clip, she says, I've been really occupied with this. It's like, did you mean like preoccupied? Like, and you hear this sort of stuff. If you watch her show enough, it's all the time. The wrong word, wrong pronunciation. She just really doesn't have it all together. She says it's all a big coincidence. I'm sorry, what coincides with what here? You know, for there to be a coincidence, that means that two things must be happening together. There has to be things that coincide. What coincides here between the French, the time travelers, the Egyptian? There is no coincidence here. A person was shot by a left-wing partisan, or at least that's a suspect in custody, and Occam's razor, that's what it looks like to be.
And then he shows up in a...
I mean... He makes valid points, and there may be a component via Nick Fuentes that's a little more nefarious when he says that she might just be that dumb because, like Candace Owens says, and it is true, in his interview with Candace Owens, he said that he believes that a lot of the differences between, he talks about white European people and black people, is innate. I mean, he's a racist guy, let's be honest. And, you know, so that was a point that he made, and he said it to Candace Owens' face. So there may be a component of that when he says it, but you can't deny that the stuff she's saying is nonsense. You guys didn't, if you weren't here yesterday in the live stream, the thumbnail, and I kind of wish I had done this one for the live stream because I had a pretty darn good thumbnail I was going to use. That was going to be my thumbnail for yesterday if I had gone with the time travel thing. But honestly, I said, I'm tired. I'm so tired of talking about Candace Owens. But, you know, it's one of those things. You kind of have to do it because so many people, 1 million people per stream. I was looking at it yesterday. The number of live viewers, I believe, has gone down. You guys can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But let's see. Okay, sorry, I just got attracted by or distracted. Now here I'm messing up words. I got distracted by the comment section, so I'm gonna look away for now. I'll get to the comments towards the end. I promise. You guys know that. But you know, people are being led astray by this sort of stuff, and I'm shocked that 1 million people in this country. I mean, maybe I shouldn't be. That 1 million people in this country have latched onto it, but it's true. They have. And I'm going to play the clip. If you guys haven't seen it, it'll be a good refresher. It's a pretty short clip. And then we're going to get into a little more about Candace, and I'm going to end with an accent that I don't know if you guys are aware of, and I might have played it yesterday. Squid Man! Oh my goodness, I just look over and Squid Man's in the comments. I haven't seen you in forever, Squid Man. So I'm going to go ahead and play this clip, then we'll get back to it. Here we go.
Time traveler. He said, as I showed you in earlier messages, that he was a time traveler and he had to find me. Is that just something people are saying to their homies in text messages? And again, not anything that I would have placed so much emphasis on back when he was saying it, but it came to fruition. The other parts, he did die young. Why did he think that him dying young was necessary in order to change things? He did die young. It is related to Turning Point USA. In some way or another, at the very least, we could all agree it's related to him speaking at a campus event for Turning Point USA. I'm totally occupied by this. I tell you, I read these messages and I'm going, what is this? What is reality, actually? And Charlie died. Yes, like I said, it was related to this organization. And I think we would all agree that his death and the manner that they did it changed the world in ways that I don't think we can fully realize, or certainly not in a way that I can articulate. You just cannot pretend that all of this is one big unhappy coincidence. It's entirely plausible, I think, that they knew something about Charlie. And that's why they had him marked and had him monitored and had him likely followed since he was young. And maybe they thought, like the agents think, that if they swarmed him and they stayed with him and they pretended to be his friend, that ultimately they could control Charlie and perhaps change an outcome. They could literally change an outcome related to Charlie. So when for the first time in his life, because I do believe he was managed, I mean, I've already said I was handled. I didn't recognize that I had agents. And for the first time in his life, Charlie peeks his head up and starts to push back in a meaningful way. They couldn't stop him from becoming bigger. That seemed to be inevitable. But they panicked. They seem to have panicked, right? I mean, this is just starting to happen within a year when Charlie's going like, hey, man, I don't actually think this. I don't actually believe this. And then he goes, you know what? Take the money. Take the money out of the organization. And they panicked. They freaked out. And their solution was, no, just kill him. Just kill him.
And you know who she's implying. Obviously, we all know who she is implying. She's implying Israel again, still running with that narrative. And this is full-blown schizophrenia. I think that's what it is. I can't think of another explanation. Heavily medicated schizophrenic has got to be it. That's my opinion. I don't have any facts to back that up, so don't take that one to the bank. But it certainly looks like it. And when she says, "Oh, well, he said they're gonna kill me. They're gonna kill me," yeah. Well, how many times have you said, well, his job, it's gonna be the death of me. Lord of mercy, this job's gonna be the death of me. I've said it. Oh, running this business is gonna be the death of me. I swear I'm gonna have a stroke. I'm gonna keel over. This is the sort of thing. He gets death threats. He's these leftists, like the one who allegedly did this, and who everybody's saying allegedly did this, to include the family member of his trans lover, says that, yeah, 100%, you got the right person. They did an interview. This is from the Post Millennial. They said, you did. The parents did. The parents have said it. The police have said it. When he came in and turned himself in, he said it. They said it. That's not enough, and that doesn't get clicks for Candace Owens. So this is another thing. Like we're getting so low IQ with the whole Z Jews sort of thing. But that's all she can run with. I mean, she's thrown in the French. She's thrown in the golly. And I keep forgetting who all it is. There's so many, I can't even remember all of them. I try to tell myself that we've all got a finite amount of brain space. And what do I want to fill it with? Do I want to sit and dwell on that? No, not necessarily. There's more important things. But anyway. Oh boy, I can't wait to get into the comment section. That you guys have been burning it up, and I'm dying to get in there. But I got a couple more things that I want to talk about. Let me get to a couple, because what is this show without you guys? It's absolutely nothing. It's one dude sitting and talking to a microphone. Y'all are the ones that. Oh man, there's some interesting stuff going on in here. Let's see. Somebody doing remote view. Oh boy. Remote viewing is real. It's not made up. Everyone on earth can do it. Oh boy. That's, I'm not getting into talking about all that kind of stuff. That's, yeah. Anyway, Let's see. Her dreams also fit her narrative. Isn't that convenient? Isn't that convenient? Why is my comment section doing this? My goodness, my comment window has a mind of its own. There you go. Her dreams also fit her narrative. Every time she dreams with CK, she will blame someone and say it's him. Isn't that convenient when the self-fulfilling prophecies that are fueling your possibly drug-addled mind are appearing in your dreams as if you might be obsessed? As if you might be obsessed. That's a great point. It always matches up. The stars are aligning. They're all aligning. Wow. I do though, guys. I feel like it's part of me is angry. You know, human emotion, right? Human emotion. We're going to get angry when we see people buying into this stuff because we can see it clearly that's just not true. You know, you go through next time you watch one, if you watch one of her shows, because a lot of people they kind of hate watch it like they used to do with Howard Stern. If you ever saw the Howard Stern movie, they talked about it, and it was actually true that it was something, I forget the percentage. It was like 60% of the people, watched his show because they didn't like it. You know, they said, "Oh, you're popular with such and such." You know, 20% of your viewers. I forget the stats, but anyway, the larger number of viewers that he had were people who didn't like him, but were listening to see what else he would say. So if I've got anybody like that in the chat, go listen to it. Pull up Chat GPT on your phone, and just randomly as she's spouting off her stuff. So if you're one of the hate watchers, pop in there and just Chat GPT it. I took a segment of her show, and we found multiple things that just are not so, that just are false. And you could follow the sources, go find the sources, read it. They're all out there. She reads some obscure book or on some web page that with green, a green background and red text from a guy in sweatpants and eating Cheetos in his basement. And she takes it as fact because it fulfills the very prophecy that's in her head, whatever she has made up. Let's see. She's literally insinuating now that intelligence agencies use Charlie and herself. Yeah, the agents, man. Niles, the agents. She had agents, and I didn't know it. It's like it's sci-fi now. It's not true crime anymore. She's moved on to sci-fi. And I don't know where that sits on the podcast platforms. I said it was true crime because true crime was one of the most consistent podcast themes that has been at the top, in the top 5 for an extended period of time. And so she went with that. True crime was her thing. The whole narrative, and I even did a whole show on this, that the way they break down a true crime show, how they have the leads, how they put in the hooks, and how they leave each episode with the cliffhangers and this, that, and the other. She copied that exact same format for her podcast. And now that's not working because you got the story has to build. Right? There has to be a crescendo, and that crescendo has to end somewhere. I don't know where it is. My assumption is it's going to be with everything tanking and people realizing she's a fraud, but she can keep making up stuff from here till the cows come home. And a certain number of people are going to continue to watch it. They're going to continue to give her money every month. She's going to continue to make revenue off of it. And in the process, she's going to continue to deceive a lot of our fellow citizens, especially when she starts talking about the political stuff, right? That's what I don't like. We're supposed to try to be a unifying movement. We're a big tent. We're going to have disagreements. We got to debate this, that, and the other back and forth. But when you have people like her and Nick Fuentes muddying the water, it's no bueno. It doesn't help us. Doesn't help us at all. And in that same, and I'm going to get to the next topic now. We're going to talk a little bit about ICE. But here we go. Yeah, in that good versus evil fight, as I said before, I believe she is on the wrong side of that. As we've got more folks on right now, please, if you are new here and you're actually enjoying the content, it would be great if you would tap the buttons. All the buttons. Whatever one's available that's good. Tap those buttons. Be down in the crescendo is a padded cell. Oh, that's funny. Okay, let's see. I don't know, man. At this point, crescendo, no crescendo, everybody's still reacting and watching. It's sad and scary. Fair point. Fair point, Niles. I mean, you think it has to. It's kind of like your faith in humanity. And these next clips I'm going to show you, I still have faith. Obviously, I still have faith in humanity. We're a fallen world, but we've got some stuff going on. I'll look local. Let's bring it into the U.S. and what we're dealing with here in the States. This is, I'm going to try to turn the volume down, but I'm going to lead this into talking about ICE. This is how we're getting into these situations with the ICE protests and how we're getting into the violence going on in Minneapolis, because this has become the culture when it comes to the police, when it comes to any law enforcement.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything, sir.
Ma'am.
I'm not doing anything.
And there's a loud scream in this.
I'm not
so
doing anything.
if you got earbuds in, maybe turn the volume
down.
down.
Unlock the door.
Okay, we already spoke about this, sir. I'm not doing anything to y'all.
Unlock the door.
I'm not doing. They wanna.
Yes.
Break the windows. And this tow truck over here came over here too. I don't even know.
Just unlock the door and step
sir,
out.
I'm not gonna do it because I'm not doing nothing to y'all.
Yes, you are at this time.
I told you. No, I'm not.
You are not listening.
It's not about that.
I already told you.
No, sir, it's not that. I'm not doing anything to y'all.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
You are not listening to me.
I am, sir.
You're not free to go. You're not free to drive away.
Okay, I understand that,
You're
sir.
obstructing it. The car has to be towed.
No,
So
it
you need to
doesn't.
step
No,
up.
No, it doesn't, sir.
Yes,
like I'm a get.
So then the scream it caught me by surprise. It was like one of those videos where you're looking at the meadow and then all of a sudden a face jumps out. This loud scream. And what this shows, and leading up to this, what was this, a repossession? Was this driving without a license? Was this driving on a suspended license with no insurance? You know, all the things that lead up to traffic stops where you say, look, okay, you have to get out. You can't drive the car. You can't drive the car on the road because of these particular rules and these particular regulations. And instead, it's hassle the cops because the cops are bad. And this kind of stems back to what we're talking about with Candace Owens and the people that follow her, the people that follow Nick Fuentes, the people that follow Myron Gaines. It's this people being full of, it's about hate. It's really what it is. And as I said early on, hate is very, very easy. It's very easy to hate people. Hate the cops, hate the Jews, hate the white people, hate the black people, hate ICE, hate whoever you want. Pick your poison. You hate them. But our culture has made it, that hate is directed at other people because inwardly we are seeing ourselves, we're worshiping at the altar of self. That's what it's become. Like, my truth is that I do everything right. There's no way I can do anything wrong. My truth is that the cops are inherently evil. And even though I'm driving without a license, driving on a suspended license, or driving recklessly or whatever it happens to be, and they have to tow my car, they are in the wrong and I am still in the right. And that every law enforcement officer is just evil. And I believe that. They believe that. I'm speaking from their perspective, but they tell themselves, I believe that because CNN, MSNBC, CBS, NPR, whoever, the mayor of my city, the governor of my state, all told me that that's what I'm to believe. It just like it's irresponsible to tell a kid, a kid or a teenager or a leftist, which is more or less the same thing, that, basically you don't want to, it's to tell a kid that all the irresponsible thoughts and silly thoughts that they have in their head are valid, right? Like, Daddy, I'm a pony. No, you're not. Now get your butt outside and go mow the yard, right? You're 15. This is the world we live in because that scenario has probably happened. I know a buddy of mine, he's got kids that are in school that they put a litter box in the kid's bathroom. It's why he moved. He said, I got to get out of this place. They put a litter box in the kid's bathroom because a kid said he was a cat. Or, somebody says, I'm a they, them. No, you're not. You're 40 years old. Now get the report on my desk by noon. It's this whole culture of self, and I'm never wrong. So I don't respect authority. Why would I respect authority who's telling me I'm wrong or that I'm breaking the law? The laws don't apply. The laws are whatever the news tells me. And the comeuppance, like, there's going to be a comeuppance for these people, as we say in the South. You're going to get your comeuppance. Tom Homan, he says, I played the video yesterday of them breaking into ICE vehicles, stealing documents, stealing weapons. And that guy has already been arrested. Yup. Awesome. Listen to Tom Homan, what they're doing now. Oops, I had it muted.
You know what? You can protest. These people who want to, say follow ICE, and film ICE. You know what? You can protest. They have that right. But when you cross that line, and we've proven it, if you interfere or impede or assault an ICE officer, you will be prosecuted. And one thing I'm pushing for right now, Laura, we're going to create a database where those people that are arrested for interference, impediment, assault, We're going to make them famous. We're going to put their face on TV. We're going to let their employers in their neighborhoods, in their schools, know who these people are. Because as you said, a lot of these people, they say they're taking time off work to protest. I bet you a lot of them are calling in sick. I bet you a lot of their employers don't know what they're doing. But we're going to make sure everybody knows who they are. We're going to broadcast. They want to broadcast the ICE officer that was nearly killed all over the internet. We're going to broadcast every one of these people we arrest. These people who want to, say follow.
There you go. They're building a database. So all these people who are out here, there's a clip. I think this is the right one. I want to make sure I've got the right clip. Yeah, here you go. Despicable. What these? Whoa, that was loud. Sorry about that. And my ear monitors turned up too much on that one. This is despicable. These people. This is why you need a database for these people. Find out who these people are. Look what they're doing to this ICE agent. Whoa, dadgummit, still loud. So this is the ICE agent. There's another guy. Boom, first assault. Tripping him again. Kicking him. Yeah, no room for that. I keep saying this yesterday, but I was talking about the Insurrection Act. Is it time for the Insurrection Act? And yes, at this point it is. It's been used before. It's been used when things get unruly. We had a lot of people, because it wasn't used during the, in fact, I didn't look at that. You guys refresh my memory. It wasn't used during the Summer of Love after George Floyd, was it? I don't think that's the case, but it's been used. It was used during the Civil War. It was used during the Jim Crow South when they were reintegrating the schools. It's been used. It was used during the LA riots. So it's not like this is an old school thing. This is something that Donald Trump has at his disposal. And for the safety of our citizens, for the safety of our federal law enforcement, yeah, I think it's time. It's time to do it. Just like a kid who needs a whooping, that's a legal way for us to do it. And look, the government, I'm gonna play 3 clips. I almost went 3 clips. I can count, everybody. 3 clips. I'm looking over at the other screen. We'll play 3 clips for you guys. And they're all of the leadership up in Minneapolis. So here we go. Even the police chief was shocked when he saw the mayor say this. The mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey. Listen to what this knucklehead says.
And we're in a position right now where we have residents that are asking the very limited number of police officers that we have to fight ICE agents on the street, to stand.
Look at the police chief's eyes. He's like, wait, what?
By their neighbors. We cannot be at a place right now in America where we have 2 governmental entities that are literally fighting one another. Why are we put in this position? We're put in this position because we have approximately 600 police officers in Minneapolis, far fewer that are able to work at any given time. And there are approximately 3,000 ICE agents in the area. 3,000.
I'm only going to play 2 clips because this second one, it's not going to help any. It's basically the police chief. And the police chief confirms in front of the mayor that all of these people are conducting illegal activities. Interesting. The mayor looked ticked off. But let's continue with another comment from the mayor. Here we go. Listen to this.
Imagine if that city or that town was suddenly invaded by thousands of federal agents that do not share the values that you hold dear.
Replace federal agents with, you guys know.
Imagine if your daily routines were disrupted. The local cafe that you eat at was shut down because they're scared that their own family might get torn apart.
Because they're here illegally against our laws?
Imagine if schools shut down and suddenly parents got to figure out what to do for daycare.
They've got plenty of daycare. They just need kids in them. There's plenty of daycare. Sorry.
Imagine if
was that the end of it?
Down because they're scared that their own family might get torn apart. Imagine if schools shut down and suddenly parents got to figure out what to do for daycare.
It is hilarious that he can't see. He's saying these people that don't adhere to the same, morals and principles that we do, or whatever the phrase was. I can't remember it now. Well, that's every illegal immigrant that came here without going through the legal immigration process. There's no assimilation. And yet he sits in front of people saying, could you imagine if thousands of unwelcomed people who don't buy into the culture of your area came in here and interfered with your day-to-day life? Well, everybody out there says, yeah, because we don't live in a gated neighborhood, Mr. Mayor. I'm assuming that he does. My goodness. This is it's the culture of self. It's and it's more than that. It's intentional disruption for the woke crowd. We know that their sensitivities are towards the people that are not American, because America, if you're American, you're part of the inherently evil system. This is the way they see it. We bring in these outsiders, people that, again, did not assimilate. I have no problem with immigration, with legal immigration, so long as there is assimilation. And the assimilation is what they jumped the fence, came over, and they're just living as Somalis in Somali neighborhoods doing Somali things and couldn't care less about America. All they see America as is a meal ticket. And I don't care if they are Somali. I don't care if they are, they're from Mexico or Venezuela or China or Jordan or wherever. You pick your country. The case that Milton Friedman used to make is still valid today, which is, although I don't agree with his immigration policy, he had a very libertarian immigration policy, but he used to make the argument for seasonal labor, and that seasonal labor was a good thing, is how he would pitch it. I don't think that's the case, not anymore. We got plenty here. But they would come across, they would work, then they would leave. That was beneficial. But as soon as you have a social safety net, all that falls apart. And this is the problem. The social safety net benefits the Somalis. I showed the clip yesterday. $700 million in cash from Somali neighborhoods had been sent out of America. $9 billion in Minnesota. $9 billion. We were the number one funder of Al-Shabaab. We're funding terrorist organizations. We're laundering our own money out of this country, out of the pockets of the American citizens. So yeah, people have a problem with that. Okay, let's see. I have got two more things that I'm going to play here. I'm not going to play the Tucker clip. I'll save the Tucker clip for tomorrow. It's just Tucker being a nihilist. I've found this. I don't know if you guys are Tucker fans, if we've got any Tucker fans on here or not. I'm sorry if you are. But they did a mashup of, I'll play the clip tomorrow, but it's just basically Tucker saying, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. It's going to be war, it's going to be famine, it's going to be destruction, it's going to be this, it's going to be that, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. No, all bad. Never anything good. And America's to blame. America sucks. I mean, that's kind of the theme of what he's doing. Here's some good news. How about we have a little bit of good news? Check out this report from CNN.
Let's just say you're buying a $500,000 home. You're putting 20% down. A year ago, your monthly payments were almost $2,700 for principal and interest. Now they're around $2,400. Now that might not sound like that much. It's about $260 difference. But over the course of a year, you're talking about $3,000 less in interest. Over the course of a loan, it's over $90,000. So that's huge, right? That's less money going to the bank. more for everything else in life. Now, all of this comes after the White House has really started to focus more on this issue of housing affordability, right? The president wants to ban large institutional investors from scooping up single-family homes. And significantly, he announced plans to have Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac buy $200 billion of mortgage bonds. And experts are saying that those efforts from the president, they're already helping to drive down mortgage rates, which, of course, is encouraging.
Yeah. I mean, this is huge. We've talked about this. You could listen to some people, and they're going to say that the American dream is just for the banks. You listen to Grant Cardone, that's something that he's said for a long time. Oh, they tell you the American dream is to have a home, white picket fence, a couple cars, kids, and da-da-da-da-da, and that the home is for the banks. Well, home ownership was far less of a burden, and I don't recall the numbers off the top of my head. I didn't pull them up for this show. I just wanted to show this good news clip because I figured I would be about where I am, which is already in an hour, and I haven't gotten to your guys' comments yet, but I'm going to. So yeah, that it was far less of a burden. The percentage or the number of years of income that the average family could afford that it would take to buy a home, all that has skyrocketed. Inflation has been a wreck, and Donald Trump is trying to fix that. So while people say that Donald Trump is terrible and we should abandon MAGA simply because of the Epstein list, those people have they're looking through a soda straw. They are looking at life through a soda straw. They are looking at our economy. They're looking at this country, at our people through a soda straw. They can only see one thing, and that's one enemy, and they direct all their attention towards that. And because that one little thing it's not a little thing, it's actually a big thing, but because that one thing hasn't been addressed yet, just at a year into a 4-year term, that it's a reason to start dividing it up and break us apart before the midterms and all of this. And I don't buy into that. I'm not there yet. Could there be a time where I'm like, Donald Trump is absolutely sucking? Yeah, there could be a time. Hey, we got a super chat. Niles. Yeah, so Fannie Mae is one of the big banks. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, they were one of the big investment firms. They were part of the 2000. I think they were dissolved, if I remember correctly. They were dissolved. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac all were, and I guess they're a thing now. I don't follow all the specifics around that stuff, but yeah, they're just big. They're large banks. They were part of the criminal activity. It wasn't just them, but the Lehman Brothers and Chase and all those people were also involved in the 2008 collapse. So yeah, that's what it is. Thanks for the super chat, man. I appreciate you. It's good. That's the easy way, guys, for me to see comments, because you guys, when you start burning up the comments, and I don't ever want to hawk like super chats. If you want to, totally appreciate it. I care more about the actual content of what you all are talking about. But if you enjoy it or you want to make sure I see a question or a comment, that super chat is the easiest way to do it. It pops up right over here. Niles has been a sniper with that super chat thing. Thanks, man. I appreciate you. So I say all that to say that, yeah, Donald Trump he's doing some great things. He hasn't been perfect, but no president ever will be. And look, we got to look to the future. And hopefully, the last thing I'm going to talk about, hopefully we keep him around, because this was revealed by the Secret Service. And this is the last one that I'm getting to comments, is Iranian state TV airs Trump threat featuring photo of the Butler assassination attempt. So I know Tucker went hard against Ted Cruz when Ted Cruz says the Iranians were planning it. The Iranians were planning it. And he goes, Tucker goes yard on him for that. Well, why aren't we attacking Iran? We'd be very justified to attack Iran. And now Tucker says, we want to attack Iran. It's terrible. It's terrible. Well, here you go. They're saying assassination. Tucker should be right on board with this, right? I'll be interested to see his take on it. But the threats are real. Could it be an idle threat? Yeah, it possibly could be. But we got to take him seriously. He's the POTUS. He's the boss. Okay. And I like the guy. So let's go to comments. Wow, you guys. Let me see how many I can get. She said she was spared from the program. And less than 2 minutes later, she said she was in the program getting bused to a different school, but gave up $30,000 to go to a school that she would have been spending the next 9 years. $30,000 9 years for free. She said, let's see. Okay, no reply. Here we go. They don't put agents on you because you were in AP English class or an accelerated learning program. This is the craziest thing I've ever heard. Well, yeah, you're right. She's built up a story in her head. That's what it is. I think she might be doing it to entertain herself. Maybe she's bored at home. She's got a nanny, obviously taking care of her kids. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, she want to lose some. Let's see. Her dreams also. We hit that one. Boy, I hope I didn't miss any comments up before this. I'm about halfway down the comment section. Throws crap out, sees what sticks, then drops what's unpopular. Oh, there you go. Great point. What's the takeaway? She throws it. It's like having a handful of spitballs. Or, did you ever do that as a kid? You would throw bologna at the wall. You throw bologna at the wall and it would stick. She's just sitting there with a pack of bologna, flinging it against the wall. And she's like, hey, that one stuck. Let's go with that for a while. And then it falls off and she moves on to the next thing, just tossing bologna at the wall. Am I the only one that did that? I'm from East Tennessee. We do some really weird stuff. We always had bologna. I'm just kidding. My mom listens to this show sometimes. She'll be like, I wasn't just feeding you bologna. Let's see. Do you think Candace knows that she is just way out there and that since so many people are now watching, she's just going on and on? That's a valid point or a valid question. Do you think that Candace knows that she is just way out there and that since so many people are now watching, she's just going on and on, people just keep reacting? It's a possibility. I couldn't say that for sure, but we got another super chat. I'll get back to that one. For working overtime again. There you go. Niles, you're the man. You're the man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, working overtime. I don't mind it. Tonight was one that I was really eager to do. But I'm going to go back to your other comment, Niles. I already had you up, man. So is she going on and on and on just because people are still engaged? Yeah, I think that's probably part of it. But look, I tarry back and forth. I'm on the seesaw. Some days when I listen, I think, okay, she's doing this because she legitimately believes her own psychosis. Other days, I think, no, this is a grift. It's just a money grab. It's to sell merch, and people are still listening, so she just keeps saying it. And I think too that she has the mommy crowd. She calls them her mommy sleuths, right? So the mommy sleuths are giving her data. And when the mommy sleuths are hitting the super chat button, when the mommy sleuths are giving her the thumbs up, when the mommy sleuths are saying, yeah, you go girl, they're filling her chat. It's feeding whatever is in her mind that, well, validation from my audience is obviously right. And I say that that's an irresponsible stance to take. I have a lot of people in my chat that I agree with. I had somebody in my chat yesterday, or maybe it was 2 live streams ago, that didn't agree with me. And that's fine. Like we don't want to be an entire echo chamber. The hope is that people who are starting to tarry on her content will come over to a channel like this or to other channels, but hopefully to this one, and say, yeah, I need to hear a different point of view. And when they do, they realize, yeah, this isn't legit. So yeah, I don't know. I hope that answered the question, but let's see. Candace and her smorgasbord. Let's see. If you believe people use airliners to spy on people, you might just be. There you go. Oh, I love Jeff Foxworthy. I grew up listening to Jeff Foxworthy. The redneck, what was it? The redneck something tour. I wonder that too. I don't know if she knows she's acting crazy or not, or I guess would say I don't. Let's see. Yeah, this is okay. Now we're talking about the ICE. Yeah, it's a lawful order. Like that's it. Things like that, they get hashed out in court too. This is you act responsibly. You give the police. They're wearing body cams. All of them have body cams on. I still don't understand how people think they're going to make up something out of thin air, escalate a scenario, and not think that it's going to end badly, and think that it's still going to look good for them when it hits the public. But just like that clip, so that clip had no context prior to, right? 99% of those scenarios, it can be de-escalated. That woman in the car could have de-escalated the whole situation, but she doesn't. She turned on her phone after the engagement. That's the clip that made its way around the internet, and the cop is pulling her over with for no just cause. Like there's no reason for that cop to pull her over. He's just doing it because he's bad. And that goes back to what I was saying before, that it's this, my truth is that I'm never wrong. I can't be wrong. All cops are evil because CNN told me and because the governor of my city told me, Deport. Let's see. The craziest part for me is Candace brings things up to her audience to look out for them, turns around, uses attacks on her own audience like her book club read. Yeah. So the crazy part for me is that Candace brings up to her audience to look out for then turns around and uses the tactics on her own audience, like her book club reading Chaos, and she uses the same. Yeah. Well, I don't know. The book Chaos. I'm not familiar with that one. I don't think I am. Let's see. Hey, everyone, like and subscribe for my boy here. Hey, there you go. Hi, Niles. Helping me out in the chat. You're the man. Let's see. Candace constantly tells her audience what not to fall for and uses the same thing against them. Yeah, there you go. When blind following anybody, I challenge you guys, my regular followers, new followers, or subscribers. Just check me, please. I have zero problem with it. I've said things like, because this happens on a live stream. I'm a novice live streamer, right? I'm not doing this 100% of my time. I got a day job, and I'm out working, and I come back and I put all my stuff together, and I'm trying to keep a certain energy level, so people want to stay engaged. And you might slip up on a word here and there or say something wrong. In fact, I said it once, and I remember who it was. Jennifer Vets for Freedom, I believe, is her handle. And I said something about the amount of money that Qatar had given, and I said 400, it was like 400 million. I got the number completely wrong. She said, wait, that doesn't make any sense. And I was like, wait a second. I put it in my notes even. And I went back and looked, and yeah, I had gotten one wrong. But that's why I like live, because you guys can correct me if I make a mistake. But I do my research. You know that. An inordinate amount of research. So, dude, let's see. These people are like... You're going to jail, and you're going to jail. You're all there you go. You're going to jail. You're going to jail. You're all going to jail. Talking about them going after that ICE officer. Yeah, straight. It made me think of the SNL skit. Oh, I got to find it. The SNL skit, Straight to Jail. Do you guys remember that one? It was the... I have to play it. SNL skit, Straight... to jail. Oh, it's such a good one. And this will be for all the people who haven't seen it before. Maybe it's not on X. Oh, wait. It was I don't think this is the full one. I think it's just the meme. You find it, you can find this one. No negation. Undercooked eggs and bacon, straight to jail. So this was the guy. If you find that one on YouTube, it's hilarious. Maybe it wasn't. It wasn't SNL. It was on Parks and Rec. That's what it was on. It was on Parks and Rec. Straight to jail. Let's see. More comments. Golly, you guys are awesome. I've got such a great audience, by the way. I know I say that on a regular basis, but I've got a great group of people that pop in here and contribute to this show, and I appreciate you guys. Let's see. Hey, could you explain? Let's see. Could you bombastic? Let's see. Let me pull my comments over here. I'm looking off to the side and my neck's hurting. Learning centers. There we go. Yeah. Welcome back, Canna Michelle. Good to see you again. Yeah, the Leering centers. There's plenty of them. I hear the guys saying, what are we going to do about childcare? Bro, you've given like $100 million to childcare. It's available. Trust me. Let's see. Let's see. I saw one in here. I skimmed over it and I was looking for it. I think somebody asked me. Oh, here we go. I found it. Could you explain the Insurrection Act? Yes. So the Insurrection Act, all right. I've got to remember. It was from, I think it was 1802? When was it? I can't remember the year, but basically when there is civil unrest, let me see if I can find it. I had a note on it, and I cannot remember the year that it came out, and it's driving me bonkers. It was in the early 1800s, but it was used during the Civil War. Basically, when there is civil unrest, no law, like the lack of law and order, or law and order can't be established for whether it's for riots or whatever. Think of local police being overpowered by some force. Then the Insurrection Act allows the President of the United States to use the National Guard and active duty military to quell rebellion or the lawlessness. And it can come from a couple of ways. One is a governor can actually request can request military help. So whether it be mobilization of the National Guard or active duty, it can come under certain circumstances through, I believe, presidential decree. So but that's basically it. I mean, it's been used. It was, like I say, it was used during the Civil War. It was used during the Jim Crow South when they were desegregating, I believe, the schools in was it Arkansas or Alabama? And then it was used during the L.A. protests a few other times since then. So, yeah. Little Rock, that's where it was. It was in Arkansas. It was in Little Rock in 56, 7, something like that. Let's see. And it can also be used, by the way, if I remember correctly, if states won't, what's the wording for it? If there's certain constitutional rights that the state won't protect, I believe the president has the right to step in and use the Insurrection Act. There's a lot of it. I ain't a lawyer. Let's see. I'm going to go down towards the bottom. I hope I didn't skip over anything big. Arkansas. Thank you. There you go. Jennifer's Veterans for Truth. I just brought you up a minute ago. I was just talking about you. There we go. Let's see. Let's see. Yes, we are great and humble too. The mayor said, I won't protect them in court. I hope they know that, but alas, let's see. Oh, cultural references. Bologna, is that how they would say it? I guess in France, I don't know. Bologna is what we call it here in East Tennessee, but it's surely you guys have bologna. You guys have what's that weird stuff that you all spread on toast that I've heard about that's supposed to stink really bad. It's like it's an acquired taste. I don't know. Every culture's got their thing. Bologna is basically ground up anything and everything that they put into these flat little discs. It's super cheap and you can put it on bread, and we eat the fire out of it in East Tennessee. Yeah, I forget. I've got an international crowd. Not everybody knows bologna. Okay, sounds like what we call, yes, Bam salty. Yeah, there you go. Say you guys are handling it. Yes, let's see. I believe the instructions. Liverwort, Vegemite. That's it. Everybody, I've heard people talk about Vegemite. It's and the response from those of us here in the U.S. is it's interesting. I don't know that I've seen anybody that likes it, but hey, it's acquired taste. Everybody's got their thing, right? Let's see. It's all leftovers. Yeah, that's it. There you go. Niles explained it perfectly. It's all the leftover stuff from the pig they make in the for like basically leftovers of the pig, hooves, whatever you can think of. We don't ask those questions. Same thing about hot dogs. We don't ask what's in a hot dog. You ain't American if you're worried what's in a hot dog. Let's see. Megan, let's see. The mayor said, I hope they know as they do. Oh, well, facts don't care. Above the law. Yes. Yeah, it was in the billions, probably not the millions. You're talking about just the day. Well, the way I was looking at it was all of it. I think that the daycare in particular was, I don't know. Who knows? We don't know. I don't know. But you're right. It was billions. You are correct, Megan. It was billions upon billions, 9 billion just out of that one state. Let's see. And I can't wait to see, to bring this back up again. I can't wait to see what it is in other states, not because I'm excited, but because I hope that we can, root out some of this fraud, waste, and abuse. I was listening to Jack Ryan, and he was talking to Ro Khanna. And Ro Khanna was talking about a tax increase and how we needed a tax increase, just a 1% tax increase. And I thought Sean Ryan was going to just come off the top rope on him, like sharpen his elbows and come off the top rope and be like, he was like, dude, we're finding, 600, Scott Bessent said there's approximately $600 billion in fraud going on in the U.S. right now. How about we rein all that in before we start talking about taxing the people more? And that's the problem that I've always had with, I think everybody should have with big government is it's big government. It's inefficient. It's a terrible system. It's a good system, but it's become terribly bloated. I always look back, one of my favorite speeches, because it predicted so accurately what's going on today, is this 1961 speech of President Eisenhower. I recommend people go and watch it online. It's actually a really good speech, but he talked about his biggest concern was the presence of a scientific and technological elite and a military industrial complex in this country. He saw what was happening there. When you bloat the government, the spending is going to go up, then the dollars get lost in the fray. It's too easy to lose $600 billion when you're talking about one city that's bringing in trillions of dollars a year in our tax revenue. And, that's problematic. So I want to find it. I was loving talking about Doge and all the fraud that Doge was bringing up. Now we want to see it start going away. I want to hear the press conference where they say, we have canceled all of these programs, or heck, just give us a rundown. Give us a list. Here's the 75, here's the 200, here's the 500 government programs, whatever it is, that we have just absolutely wrecked shop on. They're gone. They're done. And it has saved us X amount of billions of dollars. I don't know if my debt clock is going to work. It usually doesn't. Yeah, it's not going to work. So there's some stupid ad that keeps coming up on it. But the debt clock, I love going to debtclock.org. You guys, I keep a shortcut on my program. I got a shortcut on my cell phone. You can go and see how much we're spending, but I really want to see that debt amount start dropping. Oh boy, that's going to be great. It's going to be a good day in America. Let's see. I like your content, but I can't stand listening to Candace when you play some of her crazy stuff. I unsubscribed to her because I couldn't stand her lies. Well, I don't play it all the time, Fran. Don't unsubscribe from me, Fran. Unsubscribe from her. I get it. I do it because, honestly, I want to prepare people when they go out and have conversations. If politics comes up, if Candace Owens comes up, all this stuff. My hope is to prepare people with enough information to say, well, that wasn't true. This wasn't true. Here's how I approach it. Now you guys can take it and run with it, make it your own, whatever. But anyway, I don't play it all the time. I like talking about other stuff too, as we did tonight. We did. Let's see. Oh, Megan, I used to. Oh, y'all are talking about Hawaii. Spam musubi, Megan. I used to eat spam musubi when I was stationed out at in Schofield Barracks, and I love those. Is it musubi? I think that's how. I might just say a yes or no if I'm pronouncing it right. But I would snack on those things. Oh my goodness! If you guys haven't had it, I think it was called musubi. It's like a roll of rice that's about the size. Well, again, I'll make another East Tennessee. Well, it's a global reference. A Twinkie, about the size of a little smaller than a Twinkie, and about the same thickness with a piece of fried Spam on top. Oh boy, that stuff was dope. It was good. Let's see, Jennifer. Oh, Jennifer was there too. Hey, there you go. Spam and rice was everywhere. Yeah, Jennifer was she said she was in Hawaii too. Oh, man. It was great. It was great. Spam masubi. So I guess it's masubi if you spelled that right. Some YouTubers give them. Yeah, I never got tired of Hawaii. Well, I think I've come to the end of the chat. I hope I didn't. Oh, here we go. Fred Amstead from SNL. That was that guy I showed you all. See, we talk about culture too. We talk about more. We talk about more than just the news. We got to get some cultural references in here too. You guys let me know. Just hit me in the comments. For everybody that's here that is a continued subscriber, did you get notification? Just give me a thumbs up in the chat if you got the one from yesterday. Excuse me, my nose is... and the only reason I ask is it was really weird. So the one from yesterday, my engagement like stopped. I was looking at the analytics for it, and it just flatlined at some point. So I don't know if that was something triggered by YouTube or what. So, but let's see. Newsome question, spam. Newsome question. Yeah, this has happened before on my... Niles, did you have a question about Newsome? Yeah. Okay, what you got, man? I was trying to watch I haven't watched it all the way through, and I need to. I mean, I'm going to. The one with Gavin Newsom and Ben Shapiro. Oh, Niles didn't get it. Okay. Nope. Look up. Newsome question. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Do you think it was good? Oh, here you go. Yeah, I don't have a beef with it. So the question was, and this is, I'm starting to upload stuff onto Spotify. So I haven't been doing it regularly, but I'm going to make that part of my content. So this is for the people that are just listening. Hey, here's a serious question. Do you think it was a good idea for Ben Shapiro to do the podcast with Gavin Newsom, considering Gavin Newsom is going to run and it's debate practice for him? I don't have an issue with it. I think Gavin Newsom obviously asked him. Ben Shapiro said yes. Ben Shapiro can go on whatever platform he wants to, and he's doing the same thing that anybody would do. He wants to get subscribers from, anywhere, and people of different points of view. And it kind of softens, when you go on somebody else's podcast like that, and it's from what I saw was, I don't want to say softball, but it's not super confrontational. Then yeah, it's good for his channel. Debate prep for him, I don't think it's as much, because that's them sitting in a chair. Debate prep is so much more aggressive, and they're going to be slinging mud, and it's going to be the pugilist, the pugilistics, I guess, is that the right word? But political pugilism. I might be making up words tonight. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but the fighting, right? So this is political fighting is what the debates are. That's not really, I don't think it's really debate prep. So yeah, I think it was fine. Gavin Newsom, you're right. He is going to run. Well, Gavin is a fool. Yes, Gavin is a fool. Yeah, he is. Yeah. Jennifer makes a great point. That was hysterical. And you have to believe that Sean Ryan did that. He does it to all his guests. He says, I'll give, he gives them firearms because he's got a relationship with SIG. And to give one to Gavin Newsom was such a boss move. I was like, bro, you gave it to one of the biggest anti-gun advocates ever. And yeah, it was great. Oh goodness. Yes, yeah. Charlie Kirk did his show and Charlie Kirk made everybody like, if they were on the opposite side of it, and he did it with grace, you have to admit. Yeah. Or that might be when Jesus said, "Come, ye all who have money, and I shall give you personal group chats with me." In case Fuentes is another, I would. Well, there you go. You can't argue with that. He is. Yeah, well, he's a socialist too. I mean, I've pointed this out several times. I'm like, look, the guy he pushes. So he's talking about the giving up the right is going to have to give up on the free market. The left is going to have to give up on the border, and we're going to have to give up on, free college and healthcare. It's like, bro, are you a lefty? I mean, he said he's already telling people to vote for Gavin Newsom. All his groypers are saying that. They're like, no, we'll vote for a Gavin Newsom. We'll destroy you. We'll destroy MAGA. He said the same thing about TPUSA. But now he started to soften, Fuentes has started to soften his stance, and I think it's just to try to get wider acceptance. He allegedly doesn't get paid by Rumble. I think I'm assuming gets his super chats from that, but a lot of folks are saying he might be scurrying off into his own platform again. I don't know. He's certainly getting a lot of attention from young people, and that's another concerning point is that, young people are they're angry. These young Gen Z folks, they grew up being told that white people are terrible, that, you're part of the patriarchy. If you're a man, you're a this, you're a that. And they, as opposed to saying, no, I'm not. Now I'm going to go be a mature adult and I'm going to, make my own way in this life and figure out my worldview. They just said, well, this guy says that the exact opposite of that. Well, it's not the white people that are bad. It's everybody else that's bad. So I'm just going to listen to him. That's kind of how it's shaped. And I'm not saying they're doing that, I don't want to be mean or whatever towards those kids, but that's the type of influence that they're under. I'm old enough to remember when people thought the world was in 2012. And oh man, with Griff, just pray and have faith. Great words, Jennifer. I remember that too. Y2K was going to end everything, and then what was it? The Mayan calendar, whatever calendar it was going to end because it said the one that had predicted or had been so accurate. Was it Mayan or Aztec or some other calendar? And it stopped in 2012, and everybody's like, "Ooh, is the end time coming? End of the world's going to happen?" Look, the Bible tells us what'll happen. We don't know we don't know the day, the time, the hour. Like a thief in the night, it'll come. Just live your life. Pray. Have faith. Go to church. And just don't be deceived. The world's full of deceivers, and ultimately all of us, myself included, are trying to avoid that. So there you go. Jennifer gave us some great advice tonight. That's right. Have faith and pray, and don't be deceived. Let's see. Nick gets put on a pedestal. Well, y'all just keeping me here. Let me take another sip of my energy drink at 8 o'clock at night. I hope I don't get in trouble for copyright with maybe I ought to cover my monster thing. Let's see here. Y2K. Yeah, there you go. It was all going to come crumbling down. By the way, if we've got folks on here and you haven't done so, super helpful to hit that subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell. Very, very helpful. And I would greatly appreciate it. Let's see. Carl should disqualify him for there's so many of these guys, and without getting graphic, I can't sit like that. I'm not exactly sure how they do. But let's see. Free healthcare requires taxes. Nick gets they do sit like sissies though. You got me thinking about that now. Yeah, it's like the Justin Trudeau with his legs side by side, and I'm like, I'm not 100% certain how you do that, but thank you. So, okay, Infinity. Free healthcare requires taxes or some form of money. Is there a way we do healthcare without destroying everything? I want people to be helped. I've had this conversation with a lot of people, and I've listened to a lot of economists because I'm no economist. However, what seems fairly obvious to me is we're never going to root out all the corruption, the fraud, waste, and abuse. But we have a spending problem, first off. So when we talk about adding new government systems, you're right. It's going to take money from somewhere. And, I think we fix our expenditure problem first. But just like the colleges, just like whether it's colleges or healthcare, pick your poison. Every time the government gets involved in subsidizing medicine or subsidizing education or subsidizing anything, the prices go up because the profit motive and the incentive, there's a certain level of, I guess, greed that goes with that, but it jacks up the prices. These colleges say we can buy more teachers, better books, we can get better classrooms, we can get better athletics, we can do all this stuff to help build our thing because the government is pumping more money into the system. And that's why when we had Obamacare and we started heavily subsidizing the insurance industry and and the medical field, we lost because costs actually rose. They went up. They didn't get better. And the same thing with education. Education has absolutely skyrocketed because when the government gets involved, it's bad. A free market system is going to make the colleges do things more efficiently, spend money properly, and it's kind of like it's like a drug addict. And this is a thing I don't know the answer to. It is like a drug addict or a severe alcoholic. If you take the alcohol and the drugs away immediately, there's a sudden crash and it could just absolutely destroy him. And that's part of what has to happen is there has to be a weaning off of our taxpayer dollars. The politicians don't give a crap. The politicians just see it as play money. It's monopoly money to them. They just spend it, spend it, spend it. Who cares? But yeah, that's I hope that kind of answers the question. But yeah, it has to be pulled back. And an actual free market system means you got to provide a better product for a better price. That's not the case now because we just pump hundreds of billions of dollars into education. We pump billions of dollars into insurance and into healthcare. We also have a big problem with people that are abusing the system. So I'm for these work requirements for people that want to have or want to be part of the social safety net. You got to do something for it. There's individuals that are absolutely destitute. They are permanently disabled. They're injured. They're whatever, and they just cannot work. And for them to survive, they need some sort of assistance. Sadly, it's been the government that has replaced what I'll go back biblically. People say, well, Christians should be more socialist because it's about giving to the poor and the needy and so on and so forth. Well, that was originally the responsibility of the church, not the federal government. And the federal government takes from us, steals from us, if you ask some people, and then doles it out to other people. But then other people find ways to get it in that same big system that we talked about that's very poorly managed, and we get the fraud. We get individuals with thousands of dollars on EBT cards that are more than able to work. We have people saying, I'm not going to take work because I'm getting this guaranteed money from the federal government. What is my incentive to go and work? Because I'm going to make less money. So again, we've polluted the well, I guess you would say. And yeah, there's other ways around it too when it comes to insurance. There's a lot of Christian organizations who have been doing it's like a funding share sort of thing. You're kind of paying into a pot where people take their medical expenses out of it, and it's far more affordable than our insurance system is. So yeah, the responsibility of the church is what is needed to fill the gaps that socialism. Let's see. I know here's one of those prosperous countries in the world. This is true, but we're not guaranteed to keep them, first off. So we are prosperous, but we have a spending problem. So every child that's born in America right now owes $100,000 to the federal government. Over $100,000 to the federal government. Right? The kids are born in debt to the federal government. And the only way that can be repaid is by taking from them. So while we have a lot of rights, we have our First Amendment, which is one of the most important things that helps us get out of what we're in right now, the funk that we're in right now. The Second Amendment is our last resort, but it protects all of our other amendments, all of our other rights. And yeah, we can lose them just as easily as anybody else can, you know? And that's just a fact. So yeah, we do have many rights. We want to take care of people, but we've created a welfare state, and a welfare state that's bleeding us dry. I heard in UK sometimes the healthcare system. Yeah, so there's 3 rules, and you're asking some good questions here. Inc. Infinity is you can have affordability, availability, and quality. You can only have pick 2. That's all you can have. You can have affordability, availability, and high quality. Pick 2, and that's what you got to settle on. And when you talk about Canada, you have availability and affordability, even though you're getting taxed out the wazoo, but the quality, it just sucks. This is why in the UK, or not in UK, in Canada, and I'm just going to assume it's coming to the UK, but they are on the forefront of assisted suicide, MAID. It's called Medical Assistance in Dying. And there's organizations fighting back against that because it is cheaper to just let somebody go out in the woods, and they put them in these pods, and they essentially allow them to, they say fall asleep, but I've heard that it's actually a fairly painful process. They don't want people to know that. But they say, well, I'm terminally ill, and I can't get, it's going to take me 6 years, or it's going to take me a year, or whatever it is. I've got 2 weeks to live, but it's going to take me a year to get a transplant, or to get this operation. And the doctors start selling them on, well, here's an option. You can go out and you can just unalive yourself. You can just delete yourself, and you can go out peacefully on your own terms. And then they start to escalate it. They've escalated it to mental health problems, to depression. All of this is a justifiable reason in Canada for medical assistance in dying. And that's also because they are a burden on the healthcare system. We got another super chat. So I hope I answered that question. Can you explain? Let's see. There you go. Yeah, I'm going double time tonight, man. I'm almost up to 2 hours. Good grief. I'm kind of on a roll right now. Thanks, Smiles. I appreciate you. Let's see. I wish we had your First and Second Amendment. It's Australia. Yeah, well, and another place that's full of socialized medicine, socialized a lot of other stuff. And you don't have a First Amendment. That's good gracious. If you guys had a First Amendment, that would be a whole different thing. You had a Second Amendment, sort of, and then they did the buybacks, and sad. Very sad. Okay, let's see. If that bill passes, we are the UK. 5 years for hate speech. Wow. Wow. UK tops the list. Let me see if I can find it. 12,000, I believe, was the number. Let me see if I can pull it up, because I played it one of these days, or showed it one of these days. If you guys were on here, you probably would have seen it. Man, where was that? Well, I can't find it. It was that they topped the list for the number of arrests, like people imprisoned for social media posts. Here it is. UK. And let's see. Here we go. There you go. United Kingdom, 12,183. Belarus, 6,205. Germany, 3,500. China, 1,500. China, an authoritarian communist state, right? 1,500. And the UK, 12,000. Unbelievable. Like, tyranny is real. And, I say it, in the United States, we have a pretty ironclad constitution. We've got people that are trying to overturn it and undermine it at every turn. But at least we've got it for now. And we've got enough people who say, well, no, it's still pretty important. Maybe we shouldn't get rid of the First Amendment. Maybe we shouldn't get rid of the Second Amendment. It's pretty stinking important. It's pretty hard to subjugate your people when they're packing heat. Yeah, TFC was talking about, let's see, yeah. We were talking about the medical aid and dying, yeah.
People do. They're at, like, death panels are an actual thing. You know, we've only got enough money and resources to do X number, but we have, we can do 10 of this thing, but we've got 20 people on the list. Who are we going to let die? Yeah, it's sad. Okay. Guys, I have done, if you're new here, I don't typically go an hour and 45 minutes, but I'm feeling frisky tonight. I'm feeling good. We had a lot to talk about. You guys are giving me good questions. We've got some good feedback. So if you're new, it would be great if you would hit that subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell. It certainly helps us in the algorithm. And, share the content with your friends. If you got other folks that want to hop on, say, hey, check this dude out. We're growing. This channel is growing, and it's all thanks to you wonderful, wonderful people out there. I'm going to call it quits for tonight. Niles, you are, let's see, dude, you're at the top of the list, man. 3 super chats in one night. He's the GOAT. You're the sponsor for tonight. You are the sponsor of this episode. That's it, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. All right. Well, I just caught something. See, this is what happens. I'm about to go, and then they pull me back in. Grooming gangs apparently in UK get less jail time than people posting social media. Wow. Well, that's not surprising. That's terrible. Wow. More of these facts or not? What's pick what slate? Oh gosh. Yeah. Okay. Yep. All right. You're welcome, man. God bless you guys, and I will see you. I'll see you in the next live stream. We're gonna do another one tomorrow. God bless, guys. Have a great night.